All right, welcome back to the lunch table, food for thought. I'm Nico. Blitz, you already know where to hit that subscribe button, man. Shout out to my next guest, one of the original members of the JabbaWockeez. He also choreographed Bruno Mars's finesse video. Also did Bruno Mars's Super Bowl performance, and he's a rapper now too. In My Way, which was just performed at the Sacramento Kings game.
Yeah.
Phil Tayag or Sack Boy or Swag Pit.
Yeah, man.
How many monikers do you have,
feel
bro?
me? So they used to call me Swagger Boy back in the day. So people just like in the street, they'll call me SB.
Swagger Boy.
Yeah, SB. It'll really just be
Okay,
SB.
SB.
And then the whole Swagger Boy thing was just like, man, just keep it Sack Boy.
I feel you, bro. You
I'm
know,
from
like
Sac.
I told you prior to this conversation that I used to be a turf dancer back in San Francisco, and our
Yeah.
group name was actually Swagger Right.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
That's hecka funny.
So we used to like battle up against like the turf fiends,
Yeah.
everybody, bro.
Turf fiends, turf fanatics, all kinds of
Everybody, man. But I feel like, you and your crew at the time, JabbaWockeez, you guys really opened up the doors for all of us. And not just Filipinos, but just like dancers in general.
Yeah.
And you guys made it a point to be like, yo, like, this can actually be a career for everybody, because I'm seeing now, like, a lot of the turf dancers, they're getting into music videos, they're doing their own tours, they're doing their own classes and whatnot, and you guys really set the tone for everybody to do that.
Yeah, it's kind
Do you
of
ever think about how iconic that is?
It's surreal, bro. You know what I mean? Like, I was doing this for free when it was underground. You know what I mean? And then when I went on that show when we did the ABDC thing, MTV, that was in 2008.
Jesus Christ.
So it's like, you know what I mean?
That was a long ass time ago,
12
man.
years ago, bro.
Yeah.
You know, and I didn't want to do the show at that time because I don't know if it was kind of like, I don't know if you remember Real World and
Yeah.
all that kind of stuff where they had like cameras in the hotel or in the rooms and stuff like that. I didn't know what kind of format it was, but thank God we did it, you know what I mean? And kind of helped to kind of take dance to that next level, and it's been really just becoming super like mainstream commercialized ever since.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? To where like dance, we kind of even help to kind of dictate like what recording artists do with their records. You know,
That's
what I'm saying?
true. That's true, because whenever I do see like recording artists perform for the first time and they have dancers in the background, I'm just like, okay, like these guys are about their shit.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It just brings like the mood to a much more professional level that not a lot of people really think about.
Right.
But what's crazy is that nowadays I feel like, and you could definitely correct me because I haven't been too tapped in with the dance world too much, but
Yeah.
I feel like dancing is getting extremely diluted. And I think TikTok is really helping with that, because you know what I mean? It's
That's
like
crazy.
everybody just dances so stationary now.
Right.
And when back in the day it was like everyone, even turfing, it was like you were taking up room on the floor.
Right. And it's a different format, you know what I mean? And I think TikTok is kind of like for everybody. So
Yeah.
maybe not necessarily people that are like
Like real dancers.
real,
Yeah.
in that regard, like that are just like living, eating, breathing, just straight like dancers, like movement artists or whatever. So it's kind of for everybody, you know what I mean? So when you're saying it's diluted, I guess from like a dance
From a dance
integrity,
perspective.
I can see, you know what I mean, what you mean, but at the same time, it kind of like is it's including everybody at the same time.
Yeah.
So of course you're gonna kind of feel that coming from a dance perspective, and then feeling diluted. Yeah, it's doing this thing, you know.
Yeah, but it's cool. I have this conversation a lot to where like I was just in a lift with this actor, right? And he
Yeah.
was telling me like, yeah, the crazy part about this whole thing is that when you're someone in the creative field, there's no linear way to go about things.
True.
And to piggyback off of that, it's like the creative field, it's creative. You're allowed to do whatever you want to get whatever you want.
Right.
And so like, it was interesting earlier enough that you said like you didn't necessarily want to do the show initially.
Right.
And was that just because like you felt like it was too much reality TV? Like what was going on through your head?
I mean, I'm a street artist, like, you know what I mean? And And so I wasn't really concerned so much with like all that reality TV stuff. I started a group called Boogie Monstars in Sac, and I even knew with that group that we were ahead of our time. I knew it, you know what I mean? Just kind of coming up. I've been there through the dance waves when it became popular, when it died out. You know what I mean? From like the early '90s, kind of died out. You know, I was basically like, say for example, like '93. I'm like 8 years old. You know what I mean? With a whole bunch of people that are like, you know, middle school, high school. You know what I'm saying? So I'm like in second, third grade in a crew. You know what I'm saying? Where everyone, you know, like '93 Till Infinity was kind of like, you know, kind of like the theme of that era, right? Of course, '93 Till Infinity is easy to kind of remember that era, but you know, that was a time where dance was hecka big, and then it kind of died out, right? Then it started to get big again, and there was this whole circuit, especially, you know, in the Filipino circuit, where it was getting big again. And so, you know, there was all these like summer jams, summer fest, barrio fiesta, you know, that whole circuit, you know what I'm saying? So, you know, I would be performing like, you know, at the Cow Palace and the Club Platinum, you know what I'm saying? Like, and I'm like 14 years old, you know, 13 years old, you know what I mean? So I've never stopped, you know what I mean, since like, say for example, like 8 years old. I never stopped. It just always kind of progressed. And some people, you know, how I kind of look at it, like, you know, like in Never Never Land, how people kind of grow up.
Yeah.
It's like, dang, you know, you don't want whoever to kind of grow up. That's how I kind of looked at it. I've seen a lot of people kind of just kind of grow up, and you've seen people that were like stupid talented, but you know, they might not have like, for whatever reasons, you know what I mean? Maybe they weren't as passionate about the art, or maybe they're getting pressured by their parents, you know what I'm saying? Or their wifeys or whatever, you know what I mean? And they
Their
kind of
wifeys, yeah.
you know what I'm saying?
No, that's some real shit though.
It's real,
Yeah,
bro.
that's real.
And a lot of people do that. I was blessed enough to kind of have people around me to kind of like let me rock with what I love to do. And I think a lot of people just that were around me, you know, definitely starting like with my parents and my cousins, you know what I'm saying? And then, you know, to my girlfriend, you know what I'm saying? It's like everyone's been supporting ever since.
Do you think that was like a big factor as to why what's kept you going on for so long? The fact that you've had like a support system between your girl, your family, and your friends?
1,000 gazillion %. You know what I mean? Like, you know, people could be like, "Oh, I'm self-made. I did this all on my own." Da da da. No, man. It took like a lot of people to help me. You know what I mean? Be in position to, you know what I mean? Just from even just people kind of pouring game into me. Hey, Phil, this is how you air swipe. Oh, this is what you do. You know what I mean? This is how you talk to a girl. You feel me? Like, or whatever. It's like, you know, a lot of people have been kind of pouring game. You know what I mean? And part of me being, I guess, receptive and just, you know, how I've been programmed from a young age, like, it's kind of gotten me to this point. And I'm happy to say that, like, I'm still doing what I love to do.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And that's like, that's my thing.
Well, that's why I think you're one of the icons who can depict how far a dancer could really go. Because, you know, I remember being a turf dancer back in the day. I was just like, well, where the fuck can I really take this? There was really no, like, guide map for what you could do. But then nowadays we're seeing, I mean, even you doing, like, the Bruno Mars finesse video. I'm just like, you're literally right behind Bruno Mars doing your thing. And I'm over here just like, this is so unprecedented. Who would have ever thought this kid from Sac would be on this video with Bruno Mars doing the damn song with him?
Yeah, man. I mean, let me just throw this in there.
Yeah.
I started rocking with Bruno, Uptown Funk.
Yeah.
So that was the first project I got on with him, Uptown Funk. We did 24 Karat Magic. We did That's What I Like. Finesse. And so Treasure I was supposed to do. He hit me for Treasure. And at the time, I was like a couple weeks out from with the crew, like when we had a grand opening, you know what I'm saying, in Vegas for a show that we had at the Luxor. You know what I mean? And like 2-3 weeks out from grand opening, you know, Bruno hits me. And, you know, we tap in, we link up, super cool. Feel like one of my partners growing up already. It's just like, man, this is just like
It's
one
crazy.
of the homies, right?
Yeah.
And just basically, you know, we just really kind of locked in. And it was, you know, it was basically like, can we do the, you know, treasure thing or whatever? I'm like, bro, like, I'm like 2 weeks out, 3 weeks out or whatever from the grand opening. Like, you know, I had to respectfully, like, pass. You know, when I'm locked in with something, if I'm committed to something, you know, I'm a rock.
That is extremely respectable, bro.
You know what I mean?
That's fucking fire.
And that's real. And it was a big ass opportunity. You know what I mean? But, you know, I was already locked in. Like, no, like I got something going on. You know what I mean? And I'm just kind of like, you know, kind of respectfully turned it down. But, you know, basically when I got done with that conversation, I'm like, I don't know if I'm going to regret this. You know what I mean? But I had to, that's what I rocked with. That's how I get down. That's my character. And so basically I didn't hear from him for like 2 years because he went on tour. So I'm like, oh, I think I just missed the bus all the way around. About 2 years later, bro, he hits me and he's like, hey, I think I got the record for you. I was like, what? Which one? It's like, it's called Uptown Funk.
Okay.
It's like, I'm ready. And that was the first one that we got on together.
You know, let me say this, because I think this is what Bruno might have seen in you, was the fact that you're so locked into your craft and what you had going on at that time, to where it seems like you didn't want to give half of yourself to your current responsibility and then another half to yourself to another part of your responsibilities, right? Or potential responsibilities. So essentially what I'm getting at is he knew he wanted to work with you, and he knew by the time he did get to work with you, you'd be super locked into everything that is Bruno Mars.
I like that take. I will take that take. Yeah.
Locked in, bro.
Locked in.
I'm just saying, that's what I think actually happened.
Yeah, man. I mean, you know, just just me coming from, you know, that place to where I didn't really want to even do like, you know, like the TV thing at first. It's like, it's kind of weird about it, you know, and everyone kind of is very kind of fearful of kind of transcending and kind of, you know, getting into that space because there's just so much mystery and wonder behind the curtain and the smoke and the mirrors, right? And I guess a part of that, you know, I felt, you know what I'm saying, with just wanting to do like, you know, the TV thing or being on that show. It's like, I don't know how they're going to show me or depict me, or I don't know what cameras are going to follow, or you know what I mean? Like, I'm a real person.
Feel like you're kind of on edge like the whole time. Like, man, I can't do this. I can't do that.
Exactly. You know, but, you know, I'm super glad that, again, I'm super glad we did it, and just navigating how I navigate and just being the person that I am. And, you know, is, I guess, a part of why I'm still, that's why I'm talking to you right now.
Yeah.
You know?
So what was something that you had to, like, navigate through during your time on that show? Because, you know, even if we relate it back to Netflix's Rhythm and Flow, a lot of the artists were kind of just like, yeah, you know, like we were on set for like 12 hours a day.
Oh, yeah.
Type of stuff.
Oh, yeah. It was a lot of that. You know, you're not getting paid. You know what I'm saying? I left my family. I already had 2 kids at the time.
Damn, bro.
You know what I mean? And that was like 12 years. 12 years ago.
Sheesh.
I already had 2 kids. I had my first when I was 17.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So I was just like on a totally different path. You know, and so it was definitely a lot of sacrifice just being away. You know what I mean? My girl having to hold it down. I'm just getting per diem. I'm, you know, and I'm even taking the per diem, making that work so I could even send that home.
Oh,
so
shit,
I'm like,
man.
you know, I'm like extra, just
You're extra working, bro.
extra working, sacrificing. I'm thugging it. You know what I'm saying? And just praying a lot. You know what I mean? It was real grind time, bro. It was real grind time, and I just had that feeling in my gut, like it's like, you know, we're gonna stick this one out. I didn't sacrifice all this to like just want to go back home. You know what I'm saying? So, and at the time, you know, the homie G1, you know what I mean? He's basically like our big bro. He was like the OG in our group. Born in Seaside. And then he lived in Oakland, you know what I'm saying? And he put me up on a whole lot of game, bro. You know, he inspired me to not just be an artist, but to be a business person. And he's the one that helped me to kind of format and create this business that I did with Boogie Monstars that kind of created this whole format for a lot of dancers to, you know what I mean, start these dance companies and how to kind of monetize and, you know, how to kind of charge and things like that. So he laid a lot of game out for me, and he actually had passed away.
Rest in peace.
Yeah, R.I.P.G. You know, he passed away right before we found out that we made the audition for the show on MTV.
That's crazy.
Like right before.
Yeah.
And then we made it, so it was like fresh. Now we're filming, and our brother just freshly passed away.
You must have been going through like hella mixed emotions at that time. Yeah.
Yeah. It was that's exactly what it was. You know what I mean? It was definitely like a birth by fire, you know what I mean, kind of moment. And yeah, so just kind of sticking it out, thugging it out, and just, you know, having faith and just like having that tunnel vision. Just had to push through that.
Yeah, because, you know, I remember just watching every single episode back when I was young, bro. And then literally I would get up and then just start, you know, just like copying you guys. And I'm like, yo, like, it was really cool to grab that sense of inspiration from you guys from the other side of the screen. And, you know, again, like, I think you guys really set the mark for the possibilities of what dancers can actually become. Because then, you know, eventually you guys end up getting your residency in Vegas. And you guys are doing that, like, like once a week, every day? How often were you guys doing that?
It was basically like an everyday thing.
That's crazy.
Be off like 1 or 2 days a week.
See, because I got a residency like once a week, and sometimes I be feeling hella tired and whatnot because I'm just like, fuck, we're doing the same shit again. You must have gotten to a point where you were just like, damn, like, we're doing the same shit again. And you guys were doing this shit every day.
Yeah. So imagine, like, if you haven't, like, got this mango shake.
Thanks, every single day. Shout out to Roslyn.
Shout out to Roslyn. You got this mango shake, right? You got to be mindful of those things. Like, hey, I'm about to hit the stage. I should stop drinking that. Like, you know, it's getting to that 30-minute mark. I need to cut that out.
Yeah.
You know, just stuff like that. It just be every day. Just like, you know, we're human, and you want to, you know, do stuff like that. But then it's like, you rocking every day.
So let me ask you this, because literally right before you guys got here, I had a shake, and this shake had it had coconut milk, it had some pineapple, some strawberries, bananas, and also some baby spinach. And then Roslyn fucks me up with this. What do you?
He's trying to be good over here.
Right? I was saying. So, like, as a dancer, right? Like, do you have to go through like any special like dieting or anything like? You know, you get what I'm saying? Like, anything particular that you got to be, like, eating on a day-to-day basis just to stay fit?
I mean, everyone's different, first and foremost. Everyone's different. I've seen, you know, Floyd Mayweather eating McDonald's in one of them little 24-hour things. It's like he was craving McDonald's. He went to McDonald's like, this guy eats McDonald's? That's
He's just
crazy.
like me. Fuck.
And I'm over here like, you know, trying my hardest to eat baby spinach and stuff like that. And he's just over here eating McDonald's. Like, bro, I'm on my way.
Yeah.
I don't eat perfectly. I've done different things. You know, I went vegan before. I went raw vegan before.
Ooh.
Yeah, I've tried different things. And you just got to watch how you do it at the end of the day. You got to do your research. Yeah, it's just all on your body. But me, I try to be aware. You know, I try to, you know, drink like spring water or some sort of like alkaline water as opposed to like you know, because Dasani and all that
at the 7-Eleven and whatnot.
Just think alkaline versus acidic.
Yeah.
And if you have that in mind, then I think you'd be all right.
Okay. Yeah, I mean, shit. I was telling you right before this podcast, too, that, like, when I did the Filipino-American All-Star game at Staples Center, we were running up and down the court, and by the time, like, the 4-minute mark had passed, I was already, like, super winded, bro.
Man.
I was only playing for 4 minutes, dog.
I hear you, bro. I'm with you. I'm with you.
Were you winded?
So it's like so say for example, it's kind of like a muscle memory thing, right? Some people, I would this might be a really bad example, but if you play football, right? And again, this might be a really bad example, but if you start, I don't know, if you're playing chess,
Okay.
you're using a different muscle,
Uh-huh.
so it could kind of hurt because you're not conditioned.
Okay. Yeah.
Okay, so if I dance, but I haven't been running up and down the court, I'm gonna get winded.
Yeah.
So before that game that we played, I didn't play for like a year, bro.
I'm on
So
the same boat,
you're kind of
dog.
working out different muscles, and you're getting all kinds of like alerts going off in your head, like
It's like, yo, we ain't used to this, man.
Yeah.
Just sit your ass back down.
exactly. It's like, bro, you didn't warm up. You didn't tell me we were gonna do this today. Yeah, so I was going through the same thing, straight up.
Yeah, fuck all that, man. I mean, I was just, it was rough. It was really rough.
Yeah.
But you ended up playing another game over in like Sacramento too.
Yeah.
And you actually performed your record "In My Way."
Yeah.
Was this the first time you actually publicly put out a song, or what?
No. I was putting out videos and stuff like even before ABDC. You know what I mean? I was rapping and stuff. Then I was telling Roz and them the other day that I was trying to write raps like second grade, third grade. My name is Lil Phil, so
Lil Phil,
yeah.
all right.
Yeah, so it was kind of like that kind of rap. And then I really started recording. So I was dancing hecka much. I was always kind of beatboxing and kind of like freestyling with the homies. And when me and my girl, when we got pregnant with our first, so I was 16 at the time. So now I basically have to kind of sit down because I can't be dancing and running around.
Yeah.
So Kilo, self-archetype, Heidi's cousin, he gives me his Tascam 4-track. And he's like, bro, like, he knew I was already rapping at the time. He was like, here, just sit with this, take this beat pad. So I know you're going to be at the house a lot. So you can make beats. You already know how to do all that. Just, so I'm just rocking out, just making beats. And I'm just recording myself in the little 4-track. I was like, oh, bro, like.
This is it.
Yeah,
I feel good, yeah.
Oh, yeah. It was just another creative outlet. You know what I'm saying? And because I grew up in music, you know what I mean? My family, my dad, my mom, like, everybody's, like, just, we're deep into music, And I love sound of music. I grew up to that, you know what I'm saying? So I just recording, dancing, whatever I had to do to kind of, like, get it out, I just needed it, you know what I mean? So I started recording then. I done, like, a bunch of music videos, songs, mixtapes, all the stuff back in SAC. After ABDC tapped in, like I did stuff with like Illmind even then, like 2008.
Damn.
Yeah, 2008.
Yeah, Illmind beat?
Laps,
That's
Life
crazy.
And Rhymes. Oh yeah, I think it was the.
You gotta send me that one, bro.
Yeah. I'll send it to you. Yeah, we did that out the gate too. I think we got like two, at least two with him. And so he was kind of like up on game like early on, like, hey, this guy SB, like, he was showing love then, and it meant a lot because he even had like a resume back then.
Yeah, for sure.
Was happening with like Lil Brother, you know what I mean, and like 50 Cent and all them, and then fast forward, so got really caught up doing the dance thing. And, then tapping in with Bruno and all these different things. So it's like, okay, I feel accomplished dance-wise. You know what I mean?
Because that's what I was getting at.
I got a little itch.
Yeah, because that's what I was getting at, really, because it's like, I was thinking to myself, like, if he's been writing rap since he was young, it's like, what really gave you the urge to want to come out and put yourself out there as like, yo, like, I can rap too.
Right.
And it seems like dance took over your life for a really good portion of your life.
For sure. But what's crazy in SAC, some people knew me just as a rapper. Some people knew me, like in the rap scene, there's kind of like a rap scene, they knew me, I was rapping.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Dance community knew me as a dancer. Some of them knew that I rap. You know what I mean? And only some of them knew that I kind of did both, but I didn't mix it
Yeah.
because back then it kind of wasn't really
Yeah, it wasn't really a thing. It's like, yo, you just do one thing and one thing only.
Kinda.
You're fine, yeah.
I mean, with all respects to MC Hammer, you know what I mean, or those legends that really did it like the right way. I just didn't feel at the time because I was trying to get my bars in, you know what I mean? So I wasn't trying to dance around, and
at least now, like you never have to pay for a choreographer whenever you do your music videos. Like,
oh yeah,
you'll be good to go.
I do know that. So that's why I kind of like rolled it out a little bit, at the show. Like we just want to have fun at the Golden One Arena in Sac, and had this record that my brother, literally my brother. Little bro with the slap. Yeah, same mom. I'm talking about my little brother because he just started kicking at me. I was like, what's that? And he started just messing around. And I just started mumbling and it just kind of came out. And I was just like, bro, run it. And it just like, that's how it always is, man. Like with choreography or songs or whatever, like that's how it starts. There's no like formal process.
Yeah, you just need that one creative spark and then everything just kind of goes off afterwards.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
So do you plan on having like a mixtape or an EP coming out soon or what?
I mean, right now I'm just kind of dumping, bro. It's just run and gun right now. There's a lot of people that have been kind of waiting, and so I'm just trying to I'm just giving it to them, not really, thinking too much about it, and it's just been really dope. Like I feel actually really good about just kind of like letting it go. It's fulfilling,
That's good, man. And I think that's the foremost thing that it's fulfilling to you. Because I feel like as Filipinos too, we're so multi-talented, man. I'll hear people say all the time, like, man, Filipinos are good at dancing, music, DJing, fucking doctors. Like, we're good at fucking everything, bro. So, you know what I mean? And I think it's cool. I think it's cool that, like, now, like, specifically in, like, the rap game, we're seeing many more people, like yourself, obviously.
Right.
People like Guap Dad or even, like, Sweetie or even, like, Ruby Ibarra and Pilo. Yeah. And it's like, yeah, like, we can also slowly take over the rap game, too. It's just a matter of time right now.
Yeah. Yeah, that is crazy. I don't know necessarily what it is, you know what I'm saying? But obviously, I think the arts are very prevalent, you know what I mean? Like, where we're coming from. Like, I don't know.
I actually have a theory.
Let's talk about
that
it.
I'm going to talk about after these commercial breaks.
Dang!
So back to this theory, right?
Yeah.
Like, I remember talking to my dad about this, and he said that my grandfather was actually somebody who wrote the speeches for the president during his time in the Philippines.
Okay.
And then I'm looking at my dad. My dad has like a guitar at the crib. There's also a piano at one time, and I would just see him just like jam out and whatnot. Yeah. And I think to myself, like, I feel like in some way, shape, or form, they wanted to be a musician. And considering the fact that, like, my dad moved here when he was 27, my grandparents had moved here. My grandparents on my mom's side had moved here when they were, like, super young, too. I feel like that was just always in them. It's just a matter of they never had the opportunity to pursue that because money was such an issue moving to the United States.
Oh, yeah.
And I feel like that's really it. If not, like, one of the biggest factors, you know? Because, you know, every time I go back to the Philippines, like, my cousins are always dancing and singing. Like, it's like an innate ability. But the fact that we have to go through these real life situations, it's like, I feel like a lot of us just tend to push it on the side.
I mean, the Philippines is considered to be a third world country.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah? Yeah, Ross? Okay, cool. So, well, not cool, but you know what I mean.
I'm just double checking because, you know, if there isn't so much of like a structure in that way or like this, or even just resources, I'll just leave it at that. Like, and that's kind of where the dopest art comes from.
Having those resources?
Not having those.
Oh, not having the resources.
Because you're left to your creativity. You know what I mean? When you have a space to be creative, we're in this room and we don't got all these things to kind of tinker with. And you got a paintbrush and you got all this time. Bro, you're about to be a dope ass painter.
Yeah, you'll figure it out.
You know, and I think that has something to do with it. And I think that's kind of passed down. I think it is a part of like even the oppression and things like that kind of turn into something positive. You know what I'm saying? That's where like dope singers come from. Man, that stuff kind of comes from some hurt, bro.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It's not always
the best songs are the ones that could just like tug on your heartstrings just a little bit.
Yeah, because you kind of figure out how to like do exactly that, and there's a science behind it. Yeah.
There you go, man. Phil Tayag, everybody.
Yes,
You know,
sir.
I think we touched on a whole bunch of different topics
Yeah, man.
on this podcast. But I'm really happy that you're here, bro. And again, like I think for anybody who strives to be in the creative field, like I think the first step really is just like doing it and not giving a fuck about like everything else that's going on around you. Because you were literally doing that. You're still doing that to this day.
Yeah, man. That's what it is. We can't think too much about the process. Like you just gotta go, bro. You figure it out along the way. Walk and talk.
Yeah.
Walk and talk, right? Like, walking and talking. I don't care. Big show, little show. You know what I mean? Cotillion, Super Bowl. It's all the same.
No, that's facts, bro. That's facts, yeah.
In a way it is. The same way that you would dance in front of your Lola or whatever is the same way that you would dance in front of the queen of wherever.
It's funny that you say that because I was literally just doing an event the other day and there was like no one in the crowd.
Yeah.
And as I was DJing, I just noticed that like the pockets of people who were in there just came up to me afterwards, were like, bro, like you fucking killed that shit. No one was even here. I'm like, well, bro, like that's just the level of performance that I want to give every single time.
Yeah.
And I think the moment that you step back from that and you recognize that, like, I think you need to be able to recognize that every opportunity that's put in front of you is really good practice.
For sure.
You know what I mean? Like, you can't downplay a cotillion that you do versus dancing at the Luxor.
Yeah.
It's all you all have to come with, like, the same momentum at that time. So, yeah, that's really what I'm going to leave it at.
Yeah. I agree, bro. It's all practice. I mean, when is it ever really that thing? This whole thing is a process. This whole life, you know what I'm saying? Every show, every practice, that's all practice.
I feel like I want to get high with you one day and just
Come on, man. Come on, man.
Like just talk about life and all the processes.
Come on,
of it,
bro.
Man. Bill Tayag, where can everybody find you, man?
At Swag Pit, man. I'm on IG a lot. I just got a TikTok.
Okay.
I haven't done anything with it because, you know what I'm saying? But a lot of stuff going viral. I got to shout out my brother real quick, Chunky. So he's from the...
Shout out Chunky F Tuts.
Yes.
You feel me?
Okay, so, that's the...
Turf Fiends.
Right? Tribe. We tapped in. We did the Smeeze and the Finesse video. Mm-hmm. And we've been kind of locked in ever since. And because in the video, we did it at the Grammys, the Finesse thing. We hit the Smeeze and we hit the Sack Boy. Mm. And that stuff is going viral till this day. You will see it on TikTok, Instagram, whatever. And it's always it's usually that combination. They hit the Smeeze, hitting the Sack Boy, or vice versa. And that's the brother Chunky, and that's me.
Can I just say that Northern California kind of just... we set a lot of the tone for the rest of the world.
Come on, man.
That's Sacramento included, man.
You feel me?
Shit, yeah. This is the lunch table, food for thought. I'm Nico, Blitz, Phil Tayag, and we are out, everybody. Yay!
Yay.